Okay, guys, Lakers Wolves. I am not confident in whoever I pick in this series, but I'll pick somebody at the end of this. Also, there is a sponsor in this video. So the second this matchup was here, I immediately thought of Luka versus the Wolves last playoffs. Here's the thing, Luka has not been as good versus the Wolves this regular season, and that's with the Mavs and the Lakers. I'm still going to put more stock into the playoffs, but still, this season, how it's looked so far matters. Now, Luka's been on a heater the last few games, and perhaps his return to Dallas offered some sort of closure that could allow him to move on. I don't know. It was a very emotional night as we all saw it. But as far as last playoffs, he got to wherever he wanted to get to. Jaden wasn't big enough to deal with him, whether it was Ant or Nikhil or whoever. It just couldn't really stop him from getting to his spots, and also he was comfortable in pick and roll. We all saw the shot over Gobert on the switch, all that. We'll see there. Can anybody bother Luka? Can anybody stay with him coming around screens? Jalen Clark has had some opportunities on him this season. Ant and Nikhil will get their chances on him. Luka's probably going to look for certain mismatches between Conley or DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo not a bad defender, but Luka's just bigger than him. We'll get to LeBron and Reeves, but when you got Luka, you start with Luka. Although because I mentioned Conley, I'll say if the Lakers wanted to, they could just go full aggro on attacking Conley with any of their top three guys. I mean, if Reeves has Conley on him, he's definitely going to go at him. I mean, if Rui has Conley on him, you could just try to get him in the post. Now, the Wolves will say, well, okay, you're going to run your offense through Rui, go ahead. But we also got to have the Gobert, Luka convo. So I would imagine, and this can include LeBron, Reeves, and Luka, I imagine Gobert is going to be starting out in typical dropping back defense on screens, although that is specifically when Jackson Hayes is in the game. We are going to see Jackson Hayes in the series, but we're really thinking about the Lakers' smaller lineups where they're still individually big with the forwards and LeBron, Rui, Finney-Smith, Vando, although Gobert will ignore the hell out of Vando if he's ever in the game. Luka, you get it, right? But as far as Hayes, yeah, Gobert's going to drop back on screens, and then it becomes like the pull-up shooting game first off. You know, does Luka get to his step back where the defender doesn't get all the way around the screen? Does Reeves just make enough pull-ups? With Gobert dropping back, are LeBron, Luka, and Reeves able to draw fouls out of Gobert when they do decide to go downhill on him? I haven't seen these numbers used in a few days, but I do remember seeing a bit of like versus dropping defense, the Lakers were better than versus switching defense with Luka. When it's the small lineups, I mean, I guess you can still have Rudy drop back on screens, although there is more potential for pick and pops. And my guess for small lineups is we're probably going to see Gobert on Rui the most, but also, look, it's Rudy Gobert in front of the basket. There are going to be times when all three of those guys either miss something at the rim or they take a floater that they otherwise would have taken at the rim if it was a different center, or they just dribble it out of the paint or whatever. Like, that's going to happen. That's Gobert's impact. But as I say that, like looking at a lot of Luka's baskets in the conference finals, so many of them are like around the free throw line where he gets, I'll just say Jaden most of the time off of his spot. And then it's just those floaters or like pump fake a couple times into a fadeaway or like the turnaround twos, and he's doing all this while Gobert is in the area. Yes, Gobert had to worry about Lively and Gafford getting lobs from Luka. Hayes will get some. The small lineups, there's not as much there. But Luka has to get back to those 2-point percentages that he had in Dallas. Again, he's mostly shot really well in the games to close out the season. But for the Lakers, Luka shot 49% on two-pointers. If you want to remove his first couple games where he shot really badly, okay, but it still needs to be higher. And then, of course, there is, well, what if he gets Gobert on a switch? What if any of these guys get Gobert on a switch? I've said it before, I'll say it again. Gobert's better on switches than his biggest, like, doubters will believe he is. Even so, if it does happen, like, yeah, let's see it. And yes, the shot that we all remember from last conference finals, it's the Luka shot over Rudy. But I do really want to get to Gobert versus the smaller lineups. So, again, if Vando's in there, Gobert's going to be on him. But I think a lot of the time it's probably going to be Rui. And the Wolves have got to have a plan for when one of LeBron, Reeves, or Luka are able to get inside, and Gobert is going to help off of, I'm just going to keep saying Rui, but it could be a number of different guys. And actually, before more Gobert talk, this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. The Celtics play someone in round one, either the Hawks or the Magic. Really, the biggest thing for me with whoever they face is if Jalen's knee is okay, but if I would like to go to any of their playoff games in round one, or if I wanted to go to any playoff game or any sporting event or concert or festival, then I would use SeatGeek as I have in the past, and it's always been a good time. And you can use my code AFunkyDiabetic10 for 10% off your next order at SeatGeek, and that is whether you are a new customer or not, and no matter how many times you've used SeatGeek in the past. SeatGeek rates deals on a scale of 1 to 10, so look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. You can find my link in the pinned comment as well as the description of this video. One more time, AFunkyDiabetic 10 for 10% off your next order at SeatGeek. New customer or not, NBA playoffs are here. It's good stuff, bro. Yeah, they're probably just going to need somebody to close out to Rui as Gobert helps off of him for anything around the basket. That's easier said than done. If they're not fast enough to that, it could just be Rui open threes. It could be him able to drive off the catch, and then we create drive and kick opportunities. Rui can try to score himself, but Gobert will be waiting at the rim for him. As far as LeBron, looking at the matchup from way back in December now, before the Luka trade, this was the last time that LeBron and Randall were both available for this matchup. Randall was on LeBron a good amount of the time. I think any sort of screen action, any sort of off-ball action, and this could be LeBron setting a screen, by the way, too, puts Randall in a tougher spot. Because, yeah, Randall, he's big, he's strong. Like, he could hold up physically if LeBron's trying to back him down, sure. But as far as anything else, where like you can get Randall like stunting for a second on a screen and then he's got to get back, that's where I think Randall's defense can get really shaky. I'm picturing the LeBron Reeves two-man game and just Randall having to deal with all that. And I don't know if he can. Now, even with that, they will still have Gobert on the back line, so we're having that convo again, but still, having breakdowns or not having breakdowns would be nice. Although I should mention, the Wolves, they've been more comfortable this season with having non-Gobert lineups, so like Naz Reid and Randall in the game. And then as far as Austin Reeves, the Wolves can kind of go one of two places here. They can go the safer route and say, well, listen, we already have our entire defense wired on slowing down Luka and not getting killed in his skip passes or lobs or whatever. We can't also afford to give Austin Reeves similar treatment. We just have to play him a little more straight up. There's still going to be some help, but not as much. Or what if they go the more aggressive route and go, listen, Luka and LeBron are Luka and LeBron. We'll do our best. Maybe we could actually make Reeves really uncomfortable with some extra help. My guess is more so the first one, but who knows? I think I'm interested to see maybe Nikhil guarding Reeves, because I'm assuming Jaden's going to be on Luka, although, look, everybody's going to be guarding everybody at some parts of this thing, but if Nikhil ends up really making a difference on Reeves, like, maybe Nikhil's just got to play a crap ton of minutes in this series. Again, the Lakers, they'll try to go at Conley. As far as the other side of the floor, is Ant going to score 1 million points and make the Lakers pay for all the double teams they're going to throw at him? And also, how's the switching going to affect the Wolves' big guys in scoring? Because I'm assuming, again, Jackson Hayes will play in the series, but I'm thinking more so about the Lakers' small lineups. If that gets flipped, then okay, I'll be wrong about the lineup stuff. But while the Lakers will not have a great rim protector on the floor for Ant drives or whoever drives, they will have a lot of big forwards who are going to collapse. And the negative outlook on this for the Lakers is Ant getting downhill, beating whoever he's got to go at, whether it's LeBron or Luka or Reeves or Finney-Smith, Rui, Vando, whoever. I should probably acknowledge Gabe Vincent at some point, and there just isn't last year we saw him really slow down when it was Derek Lively or Gafford waiting for him. Obviously, those type of guys are not here. And also, that Dallas defense was elite by the time the playoffs were around. His numbers for that series overall are good, but the first 2 games especially, he was bad. He did also get gassed guarding Kyrie. We're also going to get a lot of Ant threes. The guy just became a better three-point shooter this year. Not all of them are going to be good shots, but I mean, he shot like 8 pull-up threes a game, and he shot 39% on those. Like, it's wild stuff. And I'm just picturing LeBron and Finney-Smith and Rui and Vando wrestling Gobert, Randall, Naz, and whoever the technical center is in those lineups is just going to be wrestling Gobert all day. If we go last 15 games, the Lakers are 23rd in defensive rating. That is not a good number. With that said, we all saw that defensive performance they had against the Nuggets, and they did have one Rockets win recently that did still matter. The Rockets had not clinched the 2 seed yet. This was like the first game they played of 2 recently, where they were also good defensively in that one. So they got to be that team again, just switchy and physical and scrambling when they need to. So yeah, about the doubles, I'm assuming they're going to dare skip passes to Jaden and Naz and Randall and Dante, everybody. They could also dare Gobert to make plays in the middle of the floor. Rudy's scoring has been mostly pretty damn good lately, even if it does feel like once a game he pulls off a very funny-looking pass. And it hasn't just been like Ant Rudy screens up top, it's also like empty side stuff with Conley or DiVincenzo for Gobert. However, and I probably took like 10 seconds too long to get to this one, with the Lakers switching, I'm assuming, in these smaller lineups, we know Rudy is not going to kill anybody in the post, but if he can like catch it on the roll with not a center waiting for him, even if the Lakers do try to crowd inside, like those are going to be the opportunities for him to score. But yeah, we're going to have the Gobert offense playoff convo. But he'll definitely have an opportunity for like putbacks and all that. I mean, his rebounding was also going pretty wild lately too. We'll see with Rudy. We'll see with Ant's timing on passes as he's rolling. It's always a big thing with this team. We will also see, similar to the other side, do the Wolves find a matchup they really, really like for Ant, which may draw out more doubles from the Lakers, but they could just try to put Luka in as many screen actions as possible. And then from there, the Lakers' plan is like, are they determined to not have Luka switched onto Ant, or do they do the switch and then just say, hey, we trust the help defense around it, or we're going to double, or we're going to dare somebody to make a shot? Like, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, in 15 career playoff games total, Randall has a 46 true shooting. That is really, really bad. And you know what I'm going to say. Any sort of creative screen action on or off the ball that you can run for him either to get a mismatch, like when he gets like a Reeves on him, yeah, go to work. But if this becomes more of like Randall trying to just batter ram his way into the paint and make these fadeaways over the Lakers forwards, I mean, like, yeah, he can go on stretches of the contested shots going in all the time, but it can just be tough. Then as far as like if you want to improve the spacing as much as possible, I mean, yeah, like you can go with the Nas, Reed, Randall lineup, which again, like they're not afraid of doing. And you can still be really physical with those two. I just wonder, do you lose too much rim protection taking Rudy out of the game? And I haven't spoken about Nas Reed too much, but like, look, Nas Reed pick and pops that then become threes or drives off the catch. It's a weapon, no doubt. Like Nas Reed is a very unique offensive player for his position. His shooting has been a bit spotty the last few games. I don't know. And then there's the other thing of this. Look, these games are all going to be close. It's going to come down to a few plays here and there. Does Jaden McDaniels go 3 for 5 from 3 or 1 for 5 or whatever? Although if I can get sidetracked for the 19th time, with Jaden, getting as many drives and aggressive moments around the rim is going to be big for him, because I think if the Lakers playing off of him only leads to decently contested threes, that's probably a win for the Lakers. And Jaden did have a scoring stretch recently where he was doing a good amount of that. One thing with me this whole Wolves season, as it's been day-to-day up and down, but overall good, the offense in the last couple of minutes of a close game. And this is really where the Ant double team convo comes in, but I know there's going to be some contested Ant jumpers with which he will make some. But I remember saying this, I don't know, midway through the season or something, where I'm just like, I'm not confident all the time in the Wolves getting a good shot in a close game late, and yeah, like that is still with me. And their recent fourth quarter collapse to the Bucks did not help that. Now they followed it up by killing the Grizzlies in Memphis, so okay, but yeah. There might be more of a need for Conley offensively late in the game, just to make sure the offense is running as well as it can, but then the Lakers could go at Conley on the other end, It's a really interesting series. I mean, some of this is also going to be, the Lakers role players 3-point shooting, because they're going to get attempts. Does Nikhil make all of his open threes that he'll get? I can keep talking forever, but if I had to lean somewhere here, it's probably Lakers in a long series. I fear that I'm doubting the Wolves. I remember 5 minutes into game 1 against Phoenix being like, why the hell did I pick the Suns to win the series? But this Laker team is better than that Suns team. This Wolves team is not as good as last year's Wolves team. I do know the Lakers are going to be the majority pick, and I would love to go against the grain, but I don't have the guts to bet against Luka and LeBron. Even if, again, it's not like a resounding thing. It's going to be very close. Anyway, that's it.